instead of so many other challenging parts of the world. I don't think there's a lot of Americans who wake up in the morning saying, oh, damn Canada. Oh, we should really go after Canada. We're there as friends, as partners. We always have been, we always will be. Sure, we're going through a difficult time right now, and yeah, emotions may run high here and there, particularly around hockey games. But I know we're going to make it through this, because we have the most successful partnership the world has ever seen, and it's a true value in this time of really challenging geopolitical instability.
Jillian Piper with Global News. Prime Minister, will you recall Parliament to pass a bill to help Canadian workers and end prorogation?
As you can see from our strong response package, as we spoke about with premiers this afternoon and have for many weeks, we have the tools to be able to support Canadians through this challenging time as it stands. This is a moment for Canadians to pull together, including Canadians of all different political parties. This is a moment where we need to set aside our differences and focus on delivering for Canadians, standing up for Canadians, and protecting the most successful political, military, economic, and security partnership the world has ever seen. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We have the tools to do it as a government right now, and we will keep doing it alongside our premiers and our partners.
A member of the Canada-US Council, Lena Payne, today said that an ally would not act this way, and therefore the US is no longer Canada's ally. Do you agree with that?
Like I said, I think there are going to be people who are upset and even hurt by what's gone on here. But I have faith. I have faith in Canadians, but I also have faith in the friendship between Canada and the United States. It has gone through challenging times before, but we always make it through because we've been able to count on each other for over 150 years, and we will continue to be able to do that long into the future. This is a friendship that has stood the test of time, and despite challenges that we can work on and we will work on together, we will continue to be friends and neighbors.
Prime Minister, you said earlier that you're not going to move forward on measures that would further divide the country. Does this mean that blocking energy exports is fully off the table?
It means that any conversations around further measures, particularly involving one industry or one region of the country more than another, is something that we're going to do carefully and thoughtfully and with the full partnership of regional leaders, provincial premiers, businesses. No one part of the country should be carrying a heavier burden than any other. We're in this together. We're all going to stand together, and we'll be there for each other from coast to coast to coast.
And President Trump said in the executive order that it's about the border and fentanyl. Do you think that this is what it's about?
We have one of the strongest, most secure borders in the world between Canada and the United States. As I said, less than 1% of fentanyl going into the United States come from Canada. Less than 1% of illegal migrants going into the United States come from Canada. That doesn't mean there isn't more to do, and that's why we've invested $1.3 billion in strengthening our borders. And we're seeing over the past number of weeks, past couple of months, the numbers significantly decrease at the border already. We are making progress in working together, including sending joint teams over to China to talk about the precursor chemicals that get developed into fentanyl all across North America. There are things that we can and must do together, and I understand the preoccupation the American president has with fentanyl deaths. We share those preoccupations. We've seen far too many communities across our country devastated by toxic drug supplies, by fentanyl, by opioid addictions. We have taken action over the years, but we're happy to do even more with the United States to counteract this horrific tragedy. That's why we have committed to doing even more and working alongside. But this trade action against Canada is not the best way we can actually work together to save lives.
Good evening, Prime Minister. Stephanie Taylor of the National Post. What does it tell you about your relationship with President Trump that you've been trying to get a hold of him and he hasn't been speaking with you?
I think this is a time where we've all remarked on just how active President Trump has been in engaging with a wide range of topics in his first weeks in office. As you all know, I've had many good and substantive conversations with President Trump over the past months, where we've highlighted the work that we can do. Our ministers and officials have been engaging, in many cases like today, multiple times a day with their counterparts to talk through these issues, to move forward on areas of mutual concern. We will continue to engage, and I will continue to be there to work with President Trump as we've worked together in the past. We've worked together to solve some pretty challenging issues over the years. I look forward to doing that again. Je pense qu'on peut souligner à quel point
Really matters. Can Canada have a productive relationship with President Trump and the Trump administration moving forward?
As I've said, we've had a very effective and constructive series of conversations throughout the American administration. We'll continue to. I look forward to speaking with President Trump in the coming days and weeks. This is something that matters, but we've solved big issues before, and we will solve them again.
Last question, dernière question, s'il vous plaît.
Thanks for taking our questions. Race Patel, the Toronto Star. When did you first learn that President Trump intends to increase tariffs if Canada retaliates, and how has that changed your strategy?
I think Canadians understand that we need to respond to this. We need to respond in a way that is appropriate, that is measured but forceful, and that meets the moment. We're certainly not looking to escalate, but we will stand up for Canada, for Canadians, for Canadian jobs. We will also continue to do more together with the United States to counteract the scourge that is fentanyl. We will continue to work on growing our economies together, creating jobs, and competing with the rise of non-market economies around the world. We can and will do things together, and that is my focus. My job is to stand up for Canadians. That's exactly what we're doing. But we're also standing up for the relationship between Canada and the United States, which, as I said, is the most successful partnership and friendship the world has ever seen.
You're dealing with the U.S. administration that says, there's nothing that you can do to stop this. We're not looking for any concessions. So do you see any conceivable way out of this because of that?
The coming weeks will be difficult for Canadians, and they'll be difficult for Americans. The level of cooperation, the level of effective partnerships between our two countries that have been established over decades and generations means that this trade action by the Americans and our response is going to have real consequences. People, for workers, on both sides of our border. We don't want to be here. We didn't ask for this. But we will not back down in standing up both for Canadians and for the incredible, successful relationship and partnership between Canada and the United States. I look forward to working with the American administration on a range of challenging issues that our communities and our world is facing.